Good afternoon. So I went to church today. I was late. It was a good service, but I was late. And what do you know? 3 people followed me in. Red Chevy, leaving as I'm leaving. But he knows I'm recording. He wasn't gonna wait to pull off until. Anyways, man, that just goes to show you these people even follow you to church, dude. The reason I know this is, like I said, I was late. And the minute I pull in, 3 cars are pulling in. Guess what colors they are? Red, blue, and white. They like to use red and blue a lot. That's the first thing. And then I'm sitting there in the back row just because I'm new, trying to get to fill it out. This truck's leaving right when I leave. Trying to get me to go so I wouldn't be able to film it. And here's that blue car that pulled in the moment I pulled in. Okay, so I had the cars follow me in, right? And then I'm in there, and like I said, I'm just sitting in the back trying to fill it out. Pastor seemed all right. Seemed like a good service. It was edifying. But I'm sitting there, and a guy comes and sits right behind me and starts coughing. If you're GANGSTALK, you'll know. You know, you walk into a restaurant, you walk into a store, and immediately you start to hear people start to cough. That's one of the things they do. And then after this, not to mention the glares I got as people walk by, but after this, after the guy sits behind me and coughs, right after, a guy walks in, inside in the chapel, it's warm, both hands in his pockets, walking super slow like they do. And these are tactics that they use to covertly let you know that they're around. I just couldn't believe it, dude. Like, I was late, man. And I was gonna go to one church that I Googled last night, but there was nowhere for me to park and it was packed. So I came to this other church. Maybe God led me here. And I was late. And I'm telling you, dude, the moment I turn into the parking lot, 3 different cars pull in. So no matter where we go, even to church, to try and, I haven't been to church in forever, man. And, you know, I'm just trying to find a home church that I can go to, because I believe that we need to be held accountable to other followers of Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But you can go and try and worship the Lord, and I didn't let them affect me. I still, you know, I received something out of the message, and I felt the Spirit. But when I first saw those 3 cars pull in, the moment I'm pulling in, late, so they're all 3 late too, it was irritating for a brief second, but I quickly changed that mindset. But it was weird. This church is way bigger and way nicer than the church I was going to go to that I Googled and I had on my Google Maps. And the reason I found this church is it was literally in eyesight right up the road. But the church I was going to go to was packed full. It was like a little kind of beat up looking church, and the parking lot was just, it was a big parking lot. It seemed like every single space was taken. And I know that they have access to my phone. That's a given. Like I said yesterday, I made that video about the cop that said, had on his vehicle, "Watchers of the People" in big bold white letters on a black cop car. And I was locked out of my Facebook account. So, you know, I've said this before, but a couple people have told me, and I'm not saying this to knock them, like, I appreciate you putting you interacting with my videos. I really do. And I consider the advice I'm given. I really do. But you know, this will follow you wherever you go, man. You can move across the country. It's gonna follow you there. That's why when people say, you know, quit your job, yeah, right, dude. I mean, if I absolutely had to, I would. But I know if I quit for this, because of the workplace mobbing and all that, it's going to be pointless, because it's going to happen at the next job. job I go to, and the next job, and the next job, until hopefully one day this ends. And if not, that's in God's destiny, but it's in His purpose for my life. And of course, a black BMW I always see just goes by with 4 similar little SUVs. That's what I mean, dude. They do things to make you know. Like driving down a road that you can easily pass on, and they space their cars in a certain way to where they're all grouped up, maybe 5-10 feet in between each car in a single file line going. I see that all the time, man. That's not normal to have 4 cars basically riding each other's butts all in a row. No, it's a sign to let you know that they're around. So I guarantee what these people did is they followed me. And they have like a little prayer request saying that, I just said I'm going through some spiritual warfare that a whole lot of people don't understand. And it's meant to seem crazy, so a lot of people don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, I understand. And there's just said some things similar to that on the prayer request. And I guarantee what these people are doing is they followed me there, went to the same church. So just like they smear your name in the community, at the workplace, what makes you think they're not going to smear your name at the church you try and go to? That's what they're doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I'm not saying this is a fact, I'm just saying it's a possibility that they don't have people planted in every single church in the town that, like, you're from, the town that you live in or whatever. Strategic people planted in each church, just in case you come to that church, there's somebody that's been there for a while with a reputation that will be a part of the smear campaign. Now, does that seem a little far-fetched? Yeah. Am I saying that's a fact? No. But it's a very strong possibility. I wouldn't put it past these people, dude, with as much time as they spend watching the life of someone else, wasting their life, paying attention to someone else's life. That's just a couple hours, if that, on each Sunday. Like, they would easily do that, especially if they're getting paid to do it. Like I said, a lot of these people, it's their job. They don't make a whole lot, from what I understand. Maybe some make more than others. I'm sure they do. The higher up you get, and the more gang stalking knowledge you gain, thinking you're a FBI agent or CIA when really they picked you because they knew that you were vulnerable and you would give in. But, like, they would do it. They do what they're told, man. They're run by fear and by money or whatever their motive is. Mainly, a lot of them, it's fear. Some of them, it's money. Some of them, it's afraid of them exposing, these gang stalkers exposing things in their life, so then they become a gang stalker. They're going to do whatever they're told. So, where I'm from is not very big. There might be maybe 20 churches. With as many gang stalkers as there are, it wouldn't be that hard to find 20 people to put in each church. And then, so that they have build a relationship with that community in the church. So then, if the target does come, guess what? They have a reputable person that has been involved in that community that's going to go along with the smear campaign. So then, I'm not saying this is true, but I could see it happening. Like today, the pastor was respectful and whatever, nice. And I didn't mean to say whatever, because he was. Like, he seemed genuine. It was kind of hard to get a feel for him. I'll be honest about that. But there's a possibility, next time I go, just like a ton of people at work that I've talked to and been cool with, seemingly cool with, for days, and then all of a sudden, they act like they're afraid to talk to you. They give you the cold shoulder. So if that starts to happen here, possibly, the reason would be what I just said. But I know, dude, that's not normal. I've been to churches. I used to go, you know, it was mainly a Mormon church. I said I've only been to a Mormon church, but I've been to like a church called Set Free. My uncle went to this Baptist church I would go to every now and then. And if like it's right before the service, 15 minutes before the service, would it be normal for people to be pulling in at the same time as you? Yeah. But being late and then having 3 cars, 2 of them being red, or one of them being red, one of them being blue, the colors they like to use, conveniently all pulling in at the same time when you're late, that's not normal. Could it happen? Yeah, dude. But if you were going through this kind of stuff and you saw something like that, you would be alert. Unless, like I said before, you're someone who is just completely unaware of your surroundings. But, oh, and then the last thing, not the last thing, because those 2 trucks left right as I left. But I'm walking to get in my truck, and right when I walk behind this car, a loud freaking horn honked. Like, the alarm when you do it, but this one was loud. In an attempt to try and like get me to jump or whatever and then be embarrassed. But that's all the time, dude, but they're not that loud. But anytime I get out of my truck, dude, if I'm not recording, there will be a horn that is honked. If I'm recording, they won't do it because they know. So, I'm not saying this to discourage you. I think that it would be good for anyone to go to church and just to ignore the holier than thou type people, dude, and try and use your discernment to see who is going to church for the right reasons. And most likely, if you're gang stalked, they're going to follow you there. But just ignore it, dude. And if people try and, even if they do, it's like a job. Even if they do a smear campaign at that specific church, if you go to another one, they're going to do it there too. So just stay, prove who, if you like the teachings, you like the core of the church, the messages they try and give, if you feel it's for you, stay, deal with people thinking whatever of you, and just be you, man. And the Lord will bless you because you're being obedient. You're trying to find a community that you can be held accountable in. And He will bless you for that, man. And that's my goal here. I'm going to try and get more time to go to church because my relationship with God is way more important than any job. If I were to quit my job today, that they would fill this truck very shortly. If I were to give up on my salvation, that's my soul. But anyways, if you're not going to church, man, I get the holier than thou type. Like, being weary of that and being cautious of it. I get it, dude. But our obedience will lead to the Lord blessing us, man. It shows our faith. It shows us trying to seek Christ-like counsel in our life and accountability. But I get it too, man. But I would encourage anyone to try and go if you haven't went, and just do it for you and the Lord, man. And go in with an open mind and try and have discernment and find those people that are there for the right reasons, that won't be manipulated. Because a true Christian, dude, isn't going to be able to have others convince them, because they're going to know the powers of Satan and what Satan tries to do to the followers of Christ, man. And they're going to have that knowledge, and they're going to apply that knowledge and not just believe the words of someone else that, they're saying in a negative, to paint you out to be a negative type of person. But I would encourage anyone to find a home church, a place where you can be held accountable, and just strengthen your relationship with the Lord, man. But you guys have a good day.